Well, things are getting very interesting as we get closer and closer to the NBA trade deadline. So for those who don't know, Kyle Lowry's name is one of the big ones in the trade market. The Raptors are actually a team that's very involved in calls nowadays. So here's the situation with Toronto. Obviously, we know the Raptors are playing in Tampa Bay. They got off to an ugly start. A lot of people thought the Raptors would be for sure sellers at the deadline. If that's the case, if the Raptors were still as bad as they were a couple months ago, I'm sure they would have looked into trading Kyle Lowry. I mean, they've squeezed all they could out of their lemon. They're moving in the direction of Fred VanVleet. Honestly, you probably don't need to go with VanVleet and Lowry today. Now, I like that backcourt. They've been able to have a lot of success together. But if you're a Raptors team, Masai Ujiri is probably about to leave as well. I mean, look, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. You don't need both. You're probably going to save a little money. Obviously, every NBA team is going to lose a little bit of money with COVID, especially the Raptors. Remember, they can't even play in Toronto because of country restrictions, right? So they're in Tampa. So if anybody's losing money, it's definitely going to be Toronto. That building's probably just collecting dust right now. I know they play hockey there, but still, So at first it looked like the Raptors would be sellers. Then they start winning games, and that team starts to get boggled into the Andre Drummond trade talk. So it really depends on the Raptors next couple weeks. If they win enough games where they feel like they can take a crack at the East this year, then they'll probably go get Andre Drummond before he is waived by the Cavaliers after the deadline. If they don't think they can win it all, they'll probably be big-time sellers. They're obviously not trading VanVleet or Siakam, so that probably will leave Kyle Lowry as the odd man out as the Raptors try to save a couple bucks or two. It is worth noting, and this is the only piece of factual information that's out there. Kyle Lowry has sold his Toronto home. And you can look at that from a multitude of reasons. People just sell their cribs, right? I mean, Lowry's making a lot of money right now. He's a champion, made man. Maybe he just wants a better crib. Or maybe he's like, yo, we ain't playing in Toronto this year. I'm in the States all year. Maybe I just want to stay in a bigger crib in the States. Maybe I want a crib in Florida somewhere close to where they're playing at in Tampa. I don't know. But I know Lowry got pissed off by Ryan Russillo over at the Ringer. Shout out to Roos. He was actually on with Fadeaway World, and he said some comments like he knew some things, and apparently Kyle Lowry doesn't think Russillo knows some things. So here's what Russillo really pretty much said. He said the word is that Lowry has been telling everybody for a month that he's getting traded, which is interesting that he's already like, yeah, I'm out of here. So I don't know if that's him saying it. I don't know if that's some understanding that he has with the front office. I don't know that part of it, but whenever you ask about Lowry, he thinks he's leaving. I think they should trade him, by the way. So Lowry did hop on his Insta story and seemingly respond to Ryan by saying the lies people tell in the media are amazing. Don't put things out when they ain't come from me. So that's clearly Lowry refuting Russillo, saying that he knows he's about to get traded. Look, I don't know if Lowry has some type of understanding with the Raptors front office. I can see it, right? With everything he's done in Toronto, they're going to retire his jersey number there. They are. I don't know. If Lowry's saying it's not true, we've seen guys come out and say things are not true, and obviously they're just trying to bluff it, right? They're trying to make sure their stock is at the ultimate highest place possible. Maybe Lowry doesn't want to get traded to a bad team. Maybe obviously the Raptors want to get as much back for Lowry as possible. Maybe they got some type of handshake agreement under the table in which, he is going to get traded. I don't know. We've seen that both ways, but Lowry's denying it. And I guess we'll just see. If Lowry is traded, though, expect a team like Philly to be involved in those trade talks, or maybe even the Los Angeles Clippers. And the Clippers would have to move off of a couple pieces. Probably Patrick Beverley would be in one of them. But maybe even those guys could be teams that enter the fray, teams that are on the cusp of winning a championship right now, looking for a guard that's got championship experience, gonna come in, do his job, and knock down shots doing it. So we'll see what happens. Lowry was not a fan of Russillo's remarks. Y'all let me know if Kyle Lowry is up for grabs at the trade deadline. What team do you believe should go out and acquire this gentleman for his services? All right, I'm out.
Catch full new episodes of FERRO's music-based platform every day only on YouTube at It's Mr.Taliaferro. You can also find clips, updates, giveaways, and more on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at It's Mr.Taliaferro. For all basketball fans, make sure you tune in to FERRO's daily highlights, reports, and commentary on YouTube at FERRO, and even more updates on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at FERRO as well.